So let's see now what is a component, why to use it and how to use it, right? So first of all, React follows am I visible to you?
Yes, you are.
Okay, all right. So first of all, React follows, component-based architecture. So first, let's see what is a component. So in a simple words, it's like a component is like dividing your complete web page of your website into a different pieces. Okay, in a very simple word, just to chop your entire web page into a different sections. So let's see, you can see here one image is here, right? So suppose this is our web page and it has a different section. Suppose it is a header section, it is a body section, it is a footer section, right? And let's divide it into a different component. Suppose header is a one component, body is a one component, and footer is a one component, right? Okay, we have divided it into different section now, but like what is the use of it? If you can guess it, you can just comment down, why we have divided it, why are we making things complex that much, right? Just you can answer in a chat. Okay, so now let me explain why we divided. Okay, let's assume, right, our header section in our website is static, and our footer section in our website is also static, right? So what varies it? Our content of our, like, the middle section, body section of our web pages. So what happens is whenever now we will refresh our web pages, only the dynamic section, the dynamic component will re-render itself. So the server not each time will server have to, the pass the all the components or the entire page. It will only pass or send us the dynamic one component, right? So like it will result in the, great performance or efficiency of our website, right? And we will see it more detail in our example, right, the practical example. So now we can say that component are nothing but, independent and reusable code. And reusable code means, if you are aware with the oops concepts and all, it just similar to the functions like a JavaScript functions or any other oops functions, right? And unlike a functions, the component use runs in isolation, and they, like a functions return some data. So here the components return the HTML scripts, which are nothing but just we seen like precursors, that is the JSX, right? JavaScript extension. So that's it. And now we will see like how to create a components in a React, like how to chop up our web page and all. So there are the two types of a component which we can create, like first is a class component and second is a function component. So let's start with, class component. Hope you can see my VS Code. Yes. So here I have the already created the app, that is a React Workshop. And in this I have the src folder in which I have my app.js. And in this there is the components folder. You can create with any name, right? I have created the component in which I will create my component. So let's say first component will be, suppose, a navbar for our website. Right. So like this, we have created here the one file, that is JS file, or you can also create a JSX. Okay. Now what we have to do, we have to just import the React, right? Sorry. Right. You have to just import it, just all the functionalities and all of the React, and just start with our component, that is navbar. Actually, we are seeing now how to create it with using the class. So we'll have to extend the react.component class, which will override all the functionalities and properties of the component, right? Okay. and then you will have to use the render function here. The render will return some JSX code. Okay, that is okay. All set. This noise of it. Okay. Yes. So now let's navigation bar here. Suppose let's use the nav tag. And you have to be pretty careful with the component name. Like this, the first letter of the component should be the capital letter. And let's actually just write it in the div tag. Just write some dummy like the navigation bar for websites. And just when you write it, you will have to the export it. Okay, so yes, and why we are getting this error? Okay. You have to write the class keyword here. Then you are all set. So now we have created the one component that is a navbar. But when I now just start my development server, let's see what we are seeing. Right. Starting. Okay. So what we can see the complete blank page. Why? Anyone guess why we are seeing the complete blank page? Even we have created the component. So yes, we have to like integrate here our components, right? Because the app.js is one component itself, right? It is returning itself to our index file. So here we have to integrate all our components, like the different pieces of our website, and our first piece is a navbar. So let's do this, right? It has like simple syntax using, can write here the navbar, and here it is auto import. Just take care of like it have imported itself, right? Otherwise just navigate to the path and import this specific component, right? So let me save it. Just recompile it again. Let's see. Okay, so yes, it is here, right? So it is pretty simple, the let's not go for the visuals, cause we know like React is like a brain, and we'll create some cool stuff at the end of our project. But now let's focus on React itself. But I will do a little bit of styling here because internal CSS is pretty much different in a React, and we'll also get idealize how the component is separate from the other components, right? So let's give the simple styling to the our div tag, right? So here how we style it, like how we provide it internal CSS is like by giving a two curly brackets, right? As Prakar mentioned, we have to write a JSX, the variables and in a curly bracket. So one curly bracket is for that, and another is for, if you notice in a normal HTML we give a internal CSS in a like string, double quotes. So we have to mention the another curly bracket for that, and rest is the same. Just let me provide any the background color. Okay. Okay. And background color will be, I have one the noted here. Pretty careful with the syntax and all. Okay. Let's provide some padding, suppose 20. Right, and let's provide suppose margin. Let's say 3. Okay, it's all right. And let's see how the component see. So it is a one component, right? That is a navbar. And let's create another component. So now we have created this component using a class. Now let's try the creating component with the function, like how to create a component with a function. So let's go to the component folder, create another component that is suppose content. Okay, content.js, and now we are creating it with the function. So let's do this, like we will again import it, again the same, or you can, if you, okay, React. And what we have to do here, as we are creating it with the function, you can directly export that function. So we can directly write the statement here, that is export default, right? And our function name, that is, let's suppose content itself. Okay. Here also you have to return the JSX, right? Okay, so let's now again write our div style, div tag. And let's now write some content in our div tag, right? So okay, so what we will do here, we will create a one scroll bar, right? So it will scroll itself, and you will get idea like how components behave, like independent each other, and they work in how they are working in isolation. So let's provide some styling so you can understand if we even provide a different colors and all. Just simple copy paste. Or okay. But we have to provide here the different color. Okay, let's provide this color. Right, and then okay, the large section for the content, and rest is okay. So let's create a one scroll bar here. Okay, right, two curly brackets, and provide some width, so it will be square, and some border. And for a scroll bar you have same as a CSS, like if overflow you can just scroll it, right? Okay, and now let's provide some content in it okay, sorry. So let's provide some content. I have some content written over here. Let's copy this so we can have a scroll bar on our web page. And yes, let's not forget to integrate this component also, right? So just let's say content and make sure it is auto importing. I think it's so it didn't auto import itself, right? So let's try it now. Just like take care of that, and yes, we are done. I think there is some import navbar from. Okay, sorry. You have to write the content. Okay, let's check it. Okay, just don't forget the semicolon here. Sure you are. Okay, let me see what's going on wrong. All is okay, but okay, so there is problem with school, I think. Yes, it's done now. Just I wrote it wrong, the overflow one, right? So yes, we have to be pretty careful with the syntax and all. Even if you do this right, see what happens. The entire page will crash. So yes, be pretty careful with the syntax and all. So let's see our web page now. So yes, see we are scrolling and I want to add just one more component to give you like a whole idea for the components. Let's create a one more file that is footer, and just let's copy number itself, the stuff, right? So in a footer, what will we do? Just now add just let's not add navigation bar, right? Just write this footer, okay, and just let's change its style and let's and let's give it just, and let's not forget to add it also, right? That is, it is not auto importing. Okay, oh yes, just make sure it is capital. See our the page is ready, and you can see like when I am scrolling, right? So it is not affecting the other components. They are all, performing their stuff, right? The navigation is on it, the footer is on its space, and the body is in its space, right? Just we have like divided them, and when I am scrolling, right, it is not affecting the footer as it should be when we code it in the single page itself. But when we do it in the components by dividing it, it is not affecting the other components, and like that, right? So it benefits in a, it results in a great efficiency and a performance of our websites and all when we divide them. Okay, now let's get back to our presentation. And then there are the some benefits of our components, right? So let's see them. Sorry. So we have seen function and class component, and there are some benefits of our components, right? So by dividing our app into different components, we can reuse the components in the different app of our same apps, right? So if your website has the multiple pages, you can keep the navigation bar and now the footer the same, right? We will just dynamically change our content component, right? And then we can also change the component of our apps using a props and state. So we will see further in detail what is props and state. Like a props is nothing but like a parameter, right, that we parameter passing to the component, and state is nothing but the managing the data of our components and all. And it also makes it easier to find the errors or debug our website, because there is a unit testing and stuff, and we have already divided our code. And we have seen that like there is an instant update without the page reloads, so it do not have to re-render itself all the components, so it results in a great efficiency. So yes, that's it about the components, and we can move further.